We're going to have a look at Camel. This is a posture that a lot of us fear because it's overwhelming. It remains overwhelming and intense. Thank God that it does, and we stop avoiding it. You quite often hear me say, the severity of your back bend is as soon as your head drops back. If you come into Camel with your chin tucked into your collarbone, with your mouth closed and conscious of your breathing, then you're going to go into it with a lot more control than coming into it with your hands here, your head fully extended back, and you've activated everything before you've even set the posture up to go deeper into your nervous system. So the options with this posture is you can come onto your toes. So it elevates your heels a little bit higher, so this transition from here to here isn't as far. If it's too intense, Sarah does this, she turns her hands the other way around. And it gives you more opening through the chest without dropping the hands down. In actual fact, it's a more powerful way of going into it. So because you turn your hands the other way around instead of doing it like that. That way is a lot softer. That way, if you're deciding today, I'm not going to put my hands to my heels, put the hands that way, and that you've activated Camel pretty much from having your hands down here if your heels were up. So from here, some days in this posture, I will go into it like this, because my back is telling me that I don't have the space in it today. And there is half a foot, 6 inches there, that if I were to come down like this onto it, once you hold onto the heels and pull, that compression comes full into your spine. So that activation into your nervous system, your breath cycle, you have to be conscious of it to keep it regulated and slow and deep, because you'll get a lot more power in the posture through breathing like that than the breath becoming short, sharp and erratic. What a lot of people do in Camel to avoid it is they're here. There's nothing going on. You're on Brighton Beach, Pebbly Beach, doing bugger all. The posture is here, and what you're doing is you're petrified to go into your emotions. So you'll hang out here, even going up onto your hands and pushing your heart forward, that is going to get the posture activated. Okay?
Like you often say, imagine there's a...
If you imagine my fists between your shoulder blades and pushing you up, Bikram dialogue is there's a piece of strain from your heart that lifting you up and back. The alignment is from your knees up towards your hip bones is pretty much a straight line. If you're leaning back there, you need to push your hips forward. The arch is then coming from the spine, from the waist upwards, that you start to go back. You can even come back and hold your head up. You know, you're still on Brighton Beach, having a good day. As soon as the head goes back, there, you can hear my voice changing and the energy that it creates then. The key to it is keep your breath regulated. Another nice thing with this posture to activate your thighs is squeeze a block at the top and squeeze it in so it keeps your legs absolutely solid. And then going back into it, you've got another support there, because when you push the hips and squeeze the knees in, you feel this whole activation below your waist as well as into your spine. Okay, let's just have a look through it again. So hopefully we can answer. I do get a bit passionate about this, I'm sorry about that. The wider you open your knees, the more you work into your hips. So in Bikram, the second set of Camel, open the knees wider. Right, what I'll just say about Bikram, and for most of you here today, that is a beginner's class. It's the same class you practiced the first time you ever did it, and it's the same class you practice however many years later. You know, in my class quite often I say, if you have a good, strong, you know, your back bend is deeper, bring your knees together, because that will make the back bend. Any back bend, the knees are closer together, the feet are together when you do Savasana or looking floor bow. The more the knees go out, the softer the back bend, the closer the knees in. And as you build that space in your spine, I don't know if I've got back now, but coming back here with the knees together, it's a lot stronger. So just to say, with Bikram, you're trying to also use it as a foundational practice, and then maybe a little bit more here and there you can add to it to make it a little bit stronger. Okay, let's just see that options with Sarah. Maybe you try this, maybe you're not that warm. Try your hands this way around and just see, do you get as much of an opening than when your hands go onto the heels? Okay, so just having a look at alignment cue, look how she's coming up into a straight line here. There's the arch that's going into her back. Okay, take the hands onto the heels. Option. So Sarah likes to go back like this because it opens up through her shoulders for her better. Need a little more space? Come onto your toes. Feeling you could go a little bit deeper. So again, look how the heart is lifted. And the worst thing we can do is hold the breath. Once we hold the breath, the posture's over anyway, because it's not being fueled by anything. The exhale, as you know, it gives you the potential of moving into it. If you're not breathing in and out, you're stuck in a position that's not going anywhere. And then your energy is building inside, it's got nowhere to go. Okay. And the thing is, a posture like this, more so, ask your body, what does it feel today? Then your mind is trying to take it to its best posture ever, every single class. So Sarah's not warmed up enough, so hands coming onto the heels, rather than the fingertips onto the heels, rather than the grip. The posture is elevated a lot once you grab the heels, because the torsion that you can pull on the heels and push the chest up creates that compression into your spine a lot deeper. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you just unmute?
Yeah.
Just see. Okay.
Yeah, that was really helpful. I didn't realise it was so, you had to push so far forward, you know,
Yeah.
top to back. Because I always feel like quite sick when I get to that posture in my throat and giddy. So
Yeah. I mean, that's normal. And the thing that makes you fear it is because you feel you're getting out of control.
okay.
But the fear is the thing that's not allowing you to go into it deeper. Because you hit that, oh my God moment, and rather than breathe through it, it keeps stopping you.
Yeah.
right? So that's where your awareness comes in, you're conscious of it, your breath is the aspect that's going to take you through that boundary in your practice, always. Because one, the breath will make you conscious. Two, it is the fuel and the power that you need to go through the boundary that's been put there in front of you. And when you break through it, you know, you can go into Camel in this euphoric state when you come out of it and there's whatever releases. And the thing is, the emotions that are there, that are trapped in there, that's what it's trying to get out of you. And the thing is, we feel it easier just to keep swallowing whatever it is than allow it to release and come out. The mind always wants to know why and what and who. And the body is getting to a point where it's going, let's just get rid of this, guys, right? Whatever you've been carrying, whatever scar is held there, a posture like Camel, a deep compression like that is going to help to release stuff out of you. And even to the point, let's just say, you know, forget the second set. It's not about how much you're doing. When you get into transitions in your practice where things are really starting to shift and move, come out of the practice, take your space, whatever you need, whatever it's giving you, allow it to take and put back in and take and do whatever it's doing. So important. Don't avoid that posture. Look at your attitude. You know it's coming up in Bikram anyway. And then look at your attitude. You know, I always say when I teach that, get to the top of your mat, look into your eyes, look at your own personal resistance that you're putting there. Now is the opportunity for you to step through it, or you keep backing down from it.
Okay.
You know, the whole thing is, okay, there is the obsession with the postures and this and getting right, totally validated, but also what are they doing? What are we doing with them? What are they there to process through us? That's the key to it, isn't it? And having the control, you know, quite often we give the posture the control and keep it within us by trying to do too much in it. But that is only a part of our personality. You know, the posture is only reflecting you as a person and how you function and behave in your life. Same thing.
I have one tip for you, Rashenda, because I struggled with this one as well. And because the Bikram dialogue says put your head back first and then go back. I found if I do the back bend first, keeping my head up and put my head back last, I was able to get through that nausea, dizzy feeling a lot easier.
Okay, thank you.
With this as well, look, you go up to Camel, you have a block here, you stick it there, you do the posture, you don't like it, you throw the block away. I don't need that, doesn't work for me. Try it. Maybe it gives you the ability to push the hips a little bit further and use the lower half of the body a lot stronger. There was something that I heard somebody say the other day. Be conscious of pressing the tops of the feet down. Wow, that's so true. Because that cause and effect on the top of the feet helps you to elevate and push the hips forward. So you've got that cause and effect kind of thing there. Right, okay, so we have got meditation coming up. I would love you to join us and add that other aspect into your practice. Would be great. Are there any other questions that I can help with?
That was a lovely session. Thank you very much for your guidance.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. See what you want for next week. Let Sarah know, and we'll have a little work with it and take it from there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.